No, I didn't go shopping, Adam.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we had to go to Plan B, and suddenly Funko Pops appeared at the table.
I don't know where they came from.
I don't either. It's an amazing, amazing thing.
To be unrelated at birth.
All right, so we're doing something a little different this time. Normally, we are in separate places. Normally, we are over video. And normally, we're not on the floor of a Comic-Con.
Not normally. Never.
Okay. Never.
This is a true first.
Are we on the floor of a Comic-Con?
Yeah.
So, before we get going, I am the golden voice of the South, the human jukebox, Dave Adams, all the way from the middle of the state of Florida.
What?
In Lakeland, Florida.
Can you believe it?
I'm not.
We are co-located.
I'm not all the way from the top of the state of Alabama this week.
Oh, you're from there. That's just not your location.
Right, I'm from the top of the state of Alabama, Madison, Alabama.
But now you're on top of everything in Central Florida.
Now I'm...
Or West Central Florida or whatever.
In West Central Florida, I was born.
Oh my gosh.
On the playgrounds where I spent most of my day. Okay, anyway, you are the phenomenal brother.
That's me.
All the way...
From here.
From here.
Yeah.
Well, actually, technically. So we need to rethink this. If we're doing all the way from where you're from and not where we're located, you're all the way from the middle of the state of Alabama.
That's true, originally.
But you're located
here.
Here. Lakeland. Well, you're not even located here. You are, well, right now you're located here.
Yes.
By the way, I'm confused. Before I confuse myself anymore, we are at the Central Florida Comic-Con Day 1. We're kind of recording this towards the end of the day. I'll tell you, Adam, I was blown away by the guest interaction we had, the just people that came up to see us, the networks that we've made. This is pretty cool. I never thought that we would get the kind of interaction and talking that we did today.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that what's been cool is to see, we see the reaction of the people who interact with us on Facebook. We see the reaction of people that follow us on Twitter and Instagram and listen to our show. These are people that don't know us from Adam's House Cat, and they're coming in here and learning about us for the first time.
Right.
And they're very receptive. I think one of the things I like the most is their receptiveness to a family-friendly podcast that exists in this genre.
Right.
We may not cover everything that's usually covered by a Comic-Con, but we touch on a lot of it. And a lot of people have come by with children and are excited to find something that they could listen to with their children.
Yeah, because I've said this a couple times. In this realm, in this genre, family-friendly sometimes takes a back seat.
Yeah, exactly.
There have been some cosplayers that come by today that if Ellie or Harper were here, I would have hid their eyes.
Yeah.
And that's not saying it's a bad thing. That's, well, I mean, for family friendly, it's not a good thing, but they're very proud of who they are, and I will give them a pass for that. But if my family was here, my girls were here, I probably would have said, hey, let's go the other way for a minute.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, but I do want to give a shout out to all of our new listeners that are listening for the first time. We appreciate meeting you. We've appreciated getting to know your story, getting to see why you listen to podcasts like this. We've given away, I don't know how many gumballs today.
Oh my gosh.
And we only were going to do 4 Funko Pops to give away.
Yeah.
But we've had to restock.
We've had to step it up, yeah, for sure.
Because somebody didn't load the gumball machine right.
I loaded the gumball machine very methodically to spread out the wins. It still was random, but I did it in random layers, okay? And it turned out that all of the greens ended up in the middle, and every last one of those got sucked down, and in the span of the first 30 minutes, we're handing out 3 Funko Pops. 3 of the 4 or 5 we intended to give out today.
Yeah.
So
thanks, Adam.
Dave had to go shopping.
No, I didn't go shopping, Adam.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we had to go to Plan B, and suddenly Funko Pops appeared at the table.
I don't know where they came from.
I don't either. It's an amazing, amazing thing. So we're here in Sykes Hall at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, And it's kind of in an area where there are other vendors, other Comic-Cons. It's not like on the what you call the main floor, because that's usually vendors that are selling things or folks going for autographs and things. This is more like where the community folks are. And it actually happens to be near where all of the panels and the costume contests and all of that stuff is happening. So we've gotten a lot more foot traffic than I expected we would get.
It really did get a lot more foot traffic. I thought that we would get the foot traffic of, we might get 10 more people subscribing or 10 more people liking our show or for the entire weekend. We hit that halfway through today's day.
Yeah.
Like today.
Yeah.
And we got to meet some cool people. We met some cosplayers. I mean, you probably saw on our Facebook, we saw a live feed. We met a guy that looks just like Stan Lee.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I did a triple take. Had to really think, was this really Stan Lee?
Yeah.
Because I know he's dead. I know Stan Lee is not alive anymore, but this guy, he even talks like him. He moves like him.
Yeah, when we took the picture with him, he even kind of posed.
Yeah, he posed.
He held his hand a certain way. And
yeah,
that
he
kind
posed
of
like Stan Lee. It's really cool. Right in front of us right now is a guy dressed like Joker.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like Joker from the movie. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed by the attention to detail in the cosplayers. I'm impressed with the vendors. I mean, I'm glad you say you were kind of a little bummed at first when we weren't with the vendors.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're not,
because
we can look across the convention floor and across the kind of like foyer here, and right into the other doors is a huge booth of Funko Pops.
Yep.
So Amanda will probably say that she's glad that we weren't in there next to them.
They do have a lot of good ones on the floor.
Oh, they've got some great ones.
And I think the other thing, too, is there's so much to see in there.
Yeah.
Whereas over here we kind of have our own space and all of that. And I think my two stories that I'll tell as we have this conversation, I think the biggest thing for me was getting to network with the Thrill Geek guys.
Oh, that was, we love meeting the Thrill Geek guys.
Yeah, they had a Harry Potter panel today where they were talking about the 10th anniversary of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter opening at Universal. And they stopped by, and so we're going to do some cross-promotion and things like that, but it's just been neat to see and hear other people, Thrill Geek's established, but we've had several people come by the table saying, well, I'm trying to get into a podcast, or we just started doing this, well, how do you guys do it? And it's just, to know other people are out there doing the same thing we're doing. It just reassures
we knew that, but
you're actually meeting them.
Right, yes, that's true. And the one thing, so the geek culture, let's say, I wouldn't say that I am the typical geek guy that you would think is a geek culture, but the geek culture is so diverse.
Yeah.
You see people who are dressed preppy, you see people who are dressed in anime.
And you see a range of ages, too.
Yeah, huge range of ages. It's incredible. It really is. I think that there's something to be said on the fact that it's so diverse.
Yeah, absolutely.
It used to be the thing that people roll their eyes at and say, oh, it's that crowd. But it's not that way anymore.
Yeah.
So it is pretty cool. It's just something that I enjoy seeing now.
Absolutely.
So I do. If you're listening to this now and you haven't listened to it before, go back in the archive and listen to when we interviewed Ben, the promoter of this show. He talked about putting this on and putting on a couple other cons in this area. Check those out.
Yeah.
I think that it's worth going to. And if you have a con in your area, I know there's one in Huntsville coming up in April. It's the exact same time as MegaCon down here, so if you're in the Orlando area, check out MegaCon.
Yep.
If you're in the Huntsville area, check out the con in Huntsville.
Yep.
Fortunately, I will be in the room where it happened.
That's right.
Watching Hamilton, so I don't know if I'll be able to have. There will not be able to have a unrelated at birth presence there.
Yeah.
You might hear some music across the hall from us. Is right where the costume contestants are lining up.
It's exciting. We're sitting right next to where they check them in, and it's been interesting to see. I think we've actually been part of coaxing 2 or 3 people who weren't going to do it into doing it.
Yeah.
And so it's been fun to kind of encourage them and all of that. But there's one huge group of girls that's probably between 13 and 15.
Yeah.
Would you say? That's all from My Hero Academia.
Which I didn't know.
Which Dave didn't know. I only recognized a couple of them because I was shopping for Funko Pops for our giveaway. But it's interesting to see the size of the group, and they're all participating together, and how people come out. Some of them are individuals, and we've had several conversations with just people who are by themselves, and then there are people that come out in huge groups.
Yeah. Well,
and
what's fun about
another
that?
one of those kind of dynamics that you kind of pick up on.
That My Hero Academia group, if you noticed, I'd say probably half of them didn't know each other before this group, this Comic-Con.
Yeah.
That's one thing I noticed. And yes, you're saying about the young kids here, but yeah, now here they are dressing up and competing together as a community. Just, they probably made friends for life. Not friends for life, but they have a memory that will last them for a very long time. So, we're talking about stories. Let me tell you a story about somebody here. So, we're doing the giveaway, and we have, several people were trying to get one specific pop. What was that one again, Adam?
We're going to ask Kiana, who actually wanted it really bad. What's the character's name?
Blake Belladonna.
From Ruby.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So Blake Belladonna, she's actually across the hall here, and she's giving, not giving, but she's doing signatures, meeting people, and you can go talk to her, and which is pretty cool. That they had Jason David Frank doing that. They had the guy that played the father of Shazam in the Shazam movie, and he's also in The Walking Dead. But they had Blake Belladonna here, or the actress that played Blake Belladonna. What's her name?
What was her name again? I don't remember.
Okay, well, the actress that played Blake Belladonna.
There you go.
But so the funny thing is, she was here. You were trying to win this thing. How many times did you come by? Do you remember? Did we count
I'm
down?
tired of gumballs.
Her dad's over here, and she was, getting gumballs. I probably
like 16 times. Maybe?
16? I'd say that's fair.
I'd say
15 or
pretty
20.
close.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably did 8, and you made your dad do 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Dad probably ate all of them, right?
So the funny thing that happened along the way is she tried several times, and that's the one she wanted. And what ended up happening is one of the times you came by, someone had literally 5 seconds before that gotten a green gumball.
Yep.
And then you showed up, played, didn't get it, and then by the time you had come back around, the Ruby character was gone. And so you tried one more time just for the heck of it, and you got a green gumball after all those tries.
And which
After
character
Ruby
did you
was
get?
gone. Who did you get?
Taffeta.
Taffeta
from Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah.
Oh, Wreck-It Ralph 1. No, she's 2.
Ralph breaks the internet. She was in
Yeah,
both.
she was in
So
both.
what's the problem with getting Taffeta?
I don't even know who she is, honestly.
So she came back by, wanted to look at the other ones we had. We offered a trade, and she decided to go back with that one. And then what happened?
I went to Blake's actor, and I told her the story, and I offered to give it to her,
Oh, so that's cool.
That's nice.
and then she signed it.
Wow.
So do you want to trade now? I mean, we can try to trade for another one.
No,
I've already got an
I have
eBay
to
listing
keep
ready
this
for
now.
Hey, tell them you're trading for the iPhone.
I'll trade you for the iPhone.
Oh.
huh?
No, can't do that. Can't do that. Well, hey, we do appreciate you coming by. I know it was just for a Funko Pop, but you gave us a cool story to tell for our podcast, and it's something that you can probably tell a lot of your friends.
Oh, I can't wait to tell her mother.
Yeah, tell your mom.
You gotta
Say,
love
hey, look,
Taffeta.
this is what we got. We got to go watch Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet now.
Yeah.
And so we know who Taffeta is.
And then you'll love the character and the Funko Pop that's signed.
There you go.
It'll be
Love
perfect.
Taffeta.
Right.
Hashtag.
Exactly.
Hashtag love
we love
Taffeta. There you go. You'll see. Adam, you took her picture,
I did.
right?
Yeah,
So
it was
you'll
a good one with all of us.
Yeah, you'll see the picture on the Instagram and on Facebook and all that stuff. So we have a cool story to tell about that picture now.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the story about Taffeta. Yeah, after that story about Taffeta, I don't know where we can go from here.
Yeah, that's definitely the highlight of the day.
Oh, I'd say so. We were telling her off mic that she now has a one-of-a-kind thing. I guarantee you that actress will never sign another Taffeta Funko Pop.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I think it's neat. She was going to give it to her. She's doing a kind act, and that actress had the forethought to sign it and give it back.
Right.
Because she knew what was really going on. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really
That's
cool.
really
And that just shows you the kindness of some of these actors and actresses that that are here. They're not just here to make money. Yes, it is a business.
Yep.
But they're also here because they understand that they wouldn't be who they are without the people here at this Comic-Con.
Exactly.
So, tell you what, we've already gone 15 minutes talking about today.
Yep.
We've got another day. Tomorrow's a shorter day.
Yep.
But we've got another day where we will be live again here on the floor. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to cut today, Saturday, now.
Yep.
And we'll come back, and the next time you hear from us will probably be the end of the day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not the end of the day because I'll be focused on my Titans game.
At some point towards the end of the day.
At some
tomorrow.
point towards the end of the day, when my Titans aren't playing,
Yeah.
we will record. And I think we're going to release this, probably a quick 30-minute episode, 30,
Sure.
45-minute episode.
Just like a bonus drop.
Yeah, bonus drop. And we'll go from there. We'll just say live from Central Florida Comic-Con. That's something, maybe not live, but live to them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see y'all tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Well, here we are, day 2 at the Central Florida Comic-Con. Adam's not on mic right now. You'll hear him here in just a second. But we do have Nicole Jobin of the Comics in the Classroom with us here. She's going to tell us a little bit about her platform. Nicole, tell us about your platform. Tell us what you're here at the Comic-Con doing.
Okay, we started in 2018 really talking to people about using comics in the classroom. Now, I know that it's happened long before then, and we were working with, I was working with ESL kids, and we were doing stuff with pictures, picture books, but also like news stories that had the pictures built into them. And then we kind of moved into having graphic novels on our shelves, and then I used it not too long ago as an actual lesson where we talked about the standards within whatever we're reading. In this case, it was X-Men. So it's just like, to certain people I can say, well, it's like the gateway drug to reading, because comics are a place where pictures and the story come together. And we teach our kids at a very young age that picture books are the way they learn how to read. And somewhere around 3rd grade, that's when we take it all away. And we say, okay, well, you were learning how to read, and it was okay to have pictures, and now you're reading to learn. So we're going to put all of these words in front of you because there's this massive information you need to know, and now you have no pictures. And so some of our kids get lost in the shuffle, and that's where we start to see the decline in our ability to read.
Right.
So specifically in this county, the number of kids in secondary schools that take the test and the number of kids that are at a passing level is less than half. It's about 42%.
Wow.
So when we look at our kids and say, okay, these are the kids in most need, they're the struggling readers, and they have probably been struggling their entire lives. But once they get to middle school, now I have to make up for 4 years. And if they were just reading anything, that's my whole thing, like you can read anything. But if we give them comics and it's already something that's really exciting to them, no matter who the character is, superhero or not, then it gives them an opportunity to read.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of people that talk about how horrible it is and how graphic it is and whatever.
You just took my next question away.
did.
Come on.
I cheated.
You did. You went with pre-show notes. We can't do that.
Sorry. But we talk about how, it's just kind of like a trashy media, but it teaches kids a lot. And so where it teaches some people how to read, but it also teaches some people how to be a good person. It teaches vocabulary. It teaches how to understand what happens between the panels as opposed to, just seeing what's in the picture. Like a lot of stuff happens in between that panel that you have to either infer or read into, and you don't really see it until later on in the book, which is a lot of what novels do, but novels tell you in words. If you can see it across the board, there's that action that moves you through that sequencing.
Right.
And then really awesome things that come from just talking about comics. Like our kids had an entire conversation about civil rights within the X-Men books. So we talked about how the word mutie was very similar to other racial slurs that we use against other people, and specifically the N-word, which was a huge topic of debate for reading this comic, because my principal was like, I think you should white it out. Now all my kids knew that wasn't something I was going to do,
Right.
because I'm not going to censor it. We're going to talk about why it's there. So we talked about why it was there, and they really had a lot of questions, because as soon as we took race out of it and it became human mutant, it was less scary to talk about that, and people could understand it in a different context.
That's really cool. That is really cool.
That's what we do.
So tell me, this is my question went a little bit in another way too. Talk to me about parents who are anti the violence, like in the Batman comics or even X-Men. You know, there is a lot of violence inferred in the pictures. There's blood in Wolverine, you know, that sometimes parents say, you know, I don't want my 3rd, 4th, 5th grader being exposed to that. What would you say to those parents?
There's other choices.
Right. Like,
we live in a world of rich comic history. So there's not just superheroes, there's other characters that you can read about. And they're all, there's lists and lists and lists that talk about what's age appropriate. So if you have a very young child that's before 3rd grade, you know, there's a certain set of books that you'll probably want to put in their hands. And then, you know, later elementary, a different set of books. And then as they, you know, move into middle school and high school, they'll have a totally another set of books.
Right.
So, you know, I think that's where our parenting styles come in, is when we say, okay, this is what I think is appropriate and this is what we can do with it.
Okay. I love this idea. I think it's great. I wish that more people were open to this, because you're right. Once you get to about 3rd or 4th grade, they take those picture books away. You might have one picture at the beginning of a chapter. Yep. But even me as a 38-year-old, I'll flip through a book and like, nah, there's no pictures, and throw it away sometimes. But if you put a comic book in there, and not even just a comic book, a novel, a graphic novel, not a horrible graphic novel, but if you put just a smaller Star Wars graphic novel in their hands, they're immediately just ready to read this, because it tells a fun story like that. So I really do, I wish you well in this. I hope that more people grab onto what you're doing.
And that's why we're here, so that people can hear that there is a merit to it.
Right.
And that, you know, if we had more like-minded, you know, professionals in the field of education that are willing to branch out, because I know there's a lot of us. I mean, there's a lot of us who are just nerdy enough that could be like, okay, well, this could be something we could use. And as long as we're reading into it to teach the standard, then we don't get as much pushback.
Yeah.
A lot of the issue is that when we get pushback, it's because a lot of what's on the internet right now is discussion questions.
Right.
So, okay, we can read it and have a discussion, which is in and of itself okay, but we have these kids who have to test at the end of the year. So we have all of these skills and all of these standards that we have to teach in the classroom. So we have to make sure that the stuff we pick to read is the stuff that can teach them that.
I like that.
So, it started out as just raising awareness. It just started out as, I love comics and I love reading and I want kids to love it too. And most of my kids, as a reading teacher, would come in and say, I hate reading. I like your class, I like you, but I hate reading.
Right.
And I'm like, you're just not reading the right stuff. And so at the end of the day, it was more about getting books in their hands as opposed to really teaching the standards, because I was just putting it on my shelf and saying, look what's here. And it started out Free Comic Book Day. And then I started to think, well, if we could use all of these books, once I started using X-Men, I was like, well, I only had a finite amount of time that I could write lesson plans and really build in the standards that I wanted to. But once I started to do that, then I was like, well, we really could do this for lots of other books and have things be built in the standard so that everybody could use it.
Yeah.
So we didn't make a giant shift, but we kind of decided that maybe if I could build a coalition of teachers who are like-minded and excited about it, then we start sharing ideas, and that means that we put comics in more kids' hands and we're teaching it throughout the course of the year. So the kids know that it is something that is an alternative.
Yeah.
And once a kid starts to read, they will move on to the harder stuff.
Yeah.
And even if they love comics for the rest of their lives, there's no harm there, because now they're not just reading the comic book, they're reading Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and they're reading, you know, some of the great classics, and they're understanding them because they have the basis in the reading skills plus the vocabulary.
That's very true, very true. So as we're wrapping up here, tell everybody how they can find out about you, how they can find out for Comics in the Classrooms. Are you on Twitter? Are you on Facebook? Do you have a website?
Yeah.
So if they do want more information, they come contact you.
You can find us on Facebook at Comics in the Classroom FL. You can also find us on Instagram at CIT Classroom. I don't know if that has FL at the end of it.
Well, how about this? We'll search it and we'll link it down below.
But
in our descriptions
it'll
and
be
everything.
there. And then we have an email address where you can reach us. And then we're working on a YouTube channel, and we're working on really getting Twitter feeds to happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of been slow on the Twitter front. So
I understand. You have to
but
teach some
that's how you
people
find
how to
us.
use social media. My co-host over here is not a social media mogul, and I've had to teach him and bring him in. So, but we appreciate you sitting down with us, and we do appreciate what you're doing here at the Comic-Con, because this is something that is more than just reading for fun. This is something that's actually reading to further a point. And so we appreciate what you're doing and using it in education.
And it should start as fun.
You're right.
It shouldn't be a chore. And when we teach kids to read, it becomes a chore. It becomes something that they hate doing because it's not fun anymore.
Right.
You're not just cuddling up with somebody and reading a book. You're analyzing characters and turning it into this big, crazy, thing. So
Yeah.
I appreciate what you guys do by talking to people and putting word out for different things that are happening.
Well, thank you very much. All right, here we are at the end of day 2 at the Central Florida Comic-Con, and we are here with our grand prize winner of the weekend, I guess we could say,
Yep.
Jake Harvitz. Jake.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. I came here yesterday, did my gumball, won something on
Yeah.
the first try.
There you go, yeah.
That was pretty cool. Threw out some shout outs to you guys unrelated at birth.
Yeah.
You guys seem like some cool dudes.
I appreciate it.
Doesn't hurt to get to know people that we're not related to at birth.
Exactly.
So,
and
and I got to win this awesome Power Rangers Lord Dragon
Yeah.
figure. I don't have it. I'm hoping David Frank's still here.
He is.
Go get my autograph real quick.
we walked around. Adam actually just walked the floor and make sure he was still here before we tagged you.
Cool, cool.
To see if he's still here. So
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait, what's this? And I saw it on my phone, and I was like, oh! I yelled.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That
Yeah.
is awesome. So what else? What have you been doing this weekend? What other things have been?
Just coming around, looking at all the comic book booths, meeting people,
Yeah.
seeing all the cosplay, having a good time. I've been looking specifically. I got a few, local artists scripts, or
Yeah.
not scripts, art on some comic book covers.
Yeah.
The one I got today is a Ghost Rider. It's an all black cover with the white, and they did a really cool
I'm thinking-
Midwestern
Yeah.
Ghost Rider cover. You guys can check him out at Crushed Ego Studios.
Yeah.
On Facebook. It's really cool, good cover.
I'll tell you, I'm
picked
sitting here
up-
looking at it. And that's
Yeah.
really cool. That's something that I'd like to.
Yeah, that's actually a lot better than I was expecting it to come
Yeah.
out. So
that's really cool looking.
I got a few more. I just don't have them with me right now.
Yeah, that's cool. So, do you normally do Comic-Cons? Is this kind of the thing that you like doing, or?
I've done a few. I've done 6, 7 of them before. I've always wanted to get into the comic book collecting and doing this. I'm a nerd at heart.
Yeah,
Maybe
we all
in
are.
my 30s, but
Hey, dude.
I love this kind of stuff.
I'm in my late 30s. He's almost 40. He's pushing 40. So,
Yeah.
this is something that, you never grow out of this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's fun. But
yeah,
hey,
I've had a great time.
yeah, Jake,
And I really appreciate this, man. This is awesome.
hey,
Best thing I've won this weekend. I've won a couple things, but this is definitely the best.
that's awesome. We appreciate that, and tell all your friends about us. And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, we enjoy having the interaction, but we also enjoy all the listens. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, Jake. Well, hey, appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Have a great one. All right.
You too.
All right.
So here we are wrapping up day 2 of Central Florida Comic-Con, and this first time you're hearing my voice. Dave did a couple of interviews that you've heard. We've had interviews. We've had winners of Funko Pops at our table. We had the winner of the Jason David Frank figure actually went and was going to try to get it signed and ended up getting it signed for free.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible thing that he was able to do.
Yeah, well,
And
it
we,
is.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: Is the mics plugged in? Are the mics plugged
The
in?
mics are plugged in this time, yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, the mics are plugged in.
Okay. So this is the first time we've done a Comic-Con. How was your thoughts on the weekend? What do you think?
I think the cosplay exceeded my expectations for a kind of mid-major con. I think the cosplay exceeded. The floor was great. Thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah, we
you.
got somebody stopping by now. Thank
Yeah.
you. And I got a compliment on my Ghostbusters shirt. So
Just now.
This is the greatest Comic-Con ever. I'm getting compliments.
And it's the Ghostbusters shirt that they've seen because of the YouTube videos.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure they've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they were one of the people that watched it.
That was it,
Even my
because-
mom won something because my parents and Blair brought the kids up. They were at the table next door. Actually, won a Thanos bank. 'Cause my
Severed
mom-
Thanos head.
It's not like in-game severed Thanos head. It's more like early Marvel movies.
It's the
Thanos,
comic book.
Comic book
Because
Thanos.
the early Marvel movies, he was in a gold helmet.
Oh, that's true.
Just gold
This
helmet.
is the blue and gold.
This is the comic book
Yeah.
Thanos.
And so my mom guessed correctly and won that. So everybody's a winner here at Central Florida Comic Con.
Everybody's a winner. And even the guy next to us, we gave him a hard time, so he won something from
Yeah,
us.
exactly. Yeah.
So-
he won a little bit of attention from the Golden Voice of the South and
The Human
Unrelated
Jukebox.
Birth podcast. Yeah.
I had 2 nicknames. You have to go with both of them.
Well, you gave it. You
Okay,
did.
just making sure.
Yeah,
Just making
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Okay, so I do want to give a big shout out, big thanks to Ben and the Central Florida Comic Con guys.
Definitely.
For letting us come out, because we've touched. This sounds weird, but we have had interaction with people that wouldn't have found us in other ways.
That's right.
And the people that won the Funko Pops, to James that won the Dracon, you heard him earlier. How cool is that?
Yeah. Well, I have to admit too, I had a moment earlier where there's a guy here who's cosplaying as the Rocketeer, and it's actually a pretty good Rocketeer costume. It's really good. It has lights and sounds and all that kind of stuff too. And I had like a little bit of a fanboy geeky moment myself.
You'll see
And
the
it's just
picture.
like- yeah, it's just like normal guys coming in here dressing up, but for me to see someone put that much effort into something that a lot of people really like anymore.
Right.
You know, the Rocketeers are like almost like a cult fandom kind of thing.
Yeah.
It makes me want to do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
Do it.
Yeah.
And Blair will let you spend the money, right?
sure, of course.
Yeah. Why not?
I'm sure.
Right. You know,
You're an enabler.
Hey, who's an enabler?
You.
And you, sir.
I am not. I don't know what
You
you're
told me
talking
to
about.
go buy Funko Pops.
I did not. I merely said that one Funko Pop would not be difficult to pack. And that is a factual statement.
Amanda, you're hearing this, right?
That is a factual
I
statement.
said I probably shouldn't do it because Amanda would say this isn't a good idea.
That's true.
And
She
it would
would.
be tough to pack.
Yeah.
And your response was,
One Funko Pop wouldn't be that difficult to pack.
okay, so there you go. But I do think I love the fact that this has come out. And you saw on Facebook Live, for people that are following us on Facebook, they saw how I fanboyed out when the Stan Lee lookalike came around. So it was really cool. Like you said, the Rocketeer comes around. It's not the real Rocketeer. It's not the guy that played the movie.
But it's somebody who likes the movie enough, like me.
Right.
It's a kindred spirit who takes the time, like the Figment and Dreamfinder. Here comes Dreamfinder right here.
Yeah.
Chicken fingers. It's just like the people who care about the same things you care about care enough to actually put that much effort into it.
Yeah.
That's what really means something.
It is really cool.
Yep.
Well, guys, I think this is going to wrap up our Central Florida Comic Con episode. We say this at the end of every episode, and for those of you who are just listening to us for the first time, I hope you go back and listen to us in the archives. I will say the first 15, it took us some time to find our footing, but I think we've found our footing.
I think we have.
And
this was a lot of fun. We'll
this was
definitely
a
do it
lot of
again.
fun. Guys, we say it every week. We mean it. We love you guys. We hope to see y'all the next time we come out to a Comic-Con, and I hope that we have found some new people coming in. So guys, we love y'all. We will talk to y'all on Wednesday when the next episode drops, and then possibly on Facebook Live Monday or Tuesday night.
Absolutely.
So we will see y'all later.